Grand Rising, Grand Rising, Grand Rising, love and immunity, beloveds. I know I said I wasn't going to be back on here, but that means nothing to evolution. What is evolution? This came upon me yesterday, and I meditated on it for a while. I just meditated because when it came upon me, it was a prayer that I sent forward to the universe the day before yesterday, and it came upon me. But as things come upon me, it shows me the wholeness of all things. See, evolution is one in itself. Okay, it's just like in the Bible it states, in your mother's womb I knew you very well. Okay, that blood is evolution for all of us. Okay, without the blood, the gene that formed into the body could never have been created. Without the atom, the molecule and the matter would have no right to become life within the atom's existence, which is the creator of all of existence. So evolution is itself, um, at every present moment, evolving itself. Okay, so the other day, being internal, I always feel imprisoned. I always feel imprisoned inside of my and just I felt imprisoned. Everything made me feel trapped. Since I was a kid, I would find myself mentally being unstable because my expression, my evolution, my energy body never was capable of being able to be understood. And it's not being understood, it wasn't recognized for itself. So when I would tell my mom that I was hurting, and she would tell me this was life, certain things I just could not, I couldn't endure, I couldn't bear them. Because inside of me, being that I'm internal, my evolution is spirit, it's energy. It's a wellspring. You know how God says in the Bible, guard your heart through the wellspring of life flows? Well, that is evolution. Evolution is energy. It's a force of life. It is the creator of life. It is the creator of why your blood swam into that gene and gave nourishment to the gene so that it can feed the body life. So you've seen this in your mother's womb, from the blood to the gene and to the organs, the cells, and the tissues, which is your living body. Okay, so evolution is the head of your existence. It's the knowledge that God said in Hosea 4:6, my people perish because of lack of this knowledge. Okay, and also in the Bible it says God will return and take back his children. Okay, so we're in this evolution right now. This evolution is here. And how do I know this evolution is here? Because I am one of his children. Now, I can't ask anybody to understand this. And I don't need anybody to understand this or to believe this. You believe what you choose because you are a free will being. You are a free will being inside of your mind. Okay? Inside of your mind, you are a free will being. This is why in the Bible it told you, do not be conformed to the world, but stay transformed and renewed in my mind. Okay, your mind makes you a free will being, but your existence makes you a whole body, a whole collective body of evolution. Okay, and because we are all under that same evolution, which is spirit, which is energy, which is law, in order for us to not perish, and I'm not going to perish, I'm just going to speak for myself, I can't speak for nobody else. The only thing that will perish is that in which does not choose on this day who they are going to serve. Okay? That's who's going to perish. You have to understand that your heart, remember in the Bible it says, who knows the heart is wicked and the mind is deceitful. And it told you that I hardened Pharaoh's heart. Okay, and I test the spirit. See, your evolution is energy. And that evolution inside of your body is what takes this chemical state of being and it evolves it into the next earth. Okay, it's just like earth itself. If we don't take care of the earth outside of us, which is equally yoked to us, it will feed off of our emotions, it will feed off of our fears, it will feed. But once it does that, because we are equally yoked, it will be an eye for an eye. The universe, which is our earth, will start to attack us. And you see this through global warming, you see this through earthquakes, you see this through our foundation falling, our foundation no longer being to provide for us. And how do we know that our foundation no longer needs provides for us? When you see nature, free nature, when you see the things that are given freely to this earth for our elemental body, to feed our elemental body, to feed our existence, and you see it being charged, or you see people not being able to grow gardens, certain trees in their yards because it's governed by an authority or a rulership or ownership, then you know that this evolution is under a power and principality. Okay, and God wanted me to speak about the powers and principalities. Because we are energy and because we are chemical, there are two powers and principalities that rule. Okay, and that is life and death. The only two powers that can exist within this kingdom, internally, the kingdom of heaven within, is life and death. There's no president rulership, there's no teacher rulership, there's no parent rulership, there's no governmental rulership, there's no medical rulership. Inside of this kingdom, in every living body, there's only two powers and principalities, and that's life and death. They are our rulers. Okay? Death is put before us to protect us from any force of evil. Death is put there to protect this evolution. Okay? Because evolution is its own entity, its own existence, its own formation. It has to always keep itself indestructible. And how it keeps itself indestructible is it uses these two powers and principalities. It uses life. Okay, life is its own covenant with itself. Okay, life can only create life. Okay, just like black can only be black, white can only be white. So it's teaching you how to see life. Life teaches you how to understand life in everything. It makes itself one. When Jesus said, I and my Father are one, it makes itself one authority. So it shows you when you use this authority in any other name, when you use this authority in any other existence. This is why it says we are not to call God in any other name. When you use this authority in any other name, it's showing you that you have used it outside of its existence, which means that you automatically become the power and the principality. Once you become this power and principality, because the head, our evolution is energy, you automatically activate the opposite. So this is where the power and principality of death becomes one. Okay? So when we don't use life, it's just like in our mother's womb. We come from spirit, which is energy, which is law, which is evolution. And in order for that evolution to become anything else, we have to go through its constellation. So we go through existence first. In order to get to life, existence has to get us there. Without existence getting us there, there is no such thing as life. Okay? There's just no such thing as life. And then from life, which is the gene, we have to go into immortality, which is the chemical body. We have to be created by life. In life, it has to have a life has to have a molecule. It has to have something to form us through, something to make us a form. So this is where we get the chemical body. Okay? We get the chemical body because without that chemical body, the mind or the gene could never form into the body. Okay? So it's all an evolution within itself. Okay, so when God returns, we must understand when God returns, God is testing our hearts and our spirits. See, God is not messing with powers and principality. Existence cannot govern life and death. only powers and principalities, which is just like Ephesians 6:12. Only rulers and authorities will govern those authorities, those powers. See, because power is automatically death. All anytime you use power is just like energy. Anytime you use power, you are playing with a voltage. Okay, and one thing about evolution is energy, so it can never be stagnated. As a internal being, I always felt stagnated, and mentally, it would make me feel crazy. Okay, it would make me feel crazy. Internally, it would make me feel like I was trapped inside of my body. This is why I have this clotting disorder. I was born with a genetic disorder that clots my blood. Okay. And in order to have that genetic disorder, anything that to clot your blood means that your energy, the energy within your body has not been given the evolution that it needs, which is the nourishment that it needs to sustain this body. So that means that somewhere in my life, the power and the principality of death ruled. This is what Ephesians 6:12 is. What played rulership and authority over my evolution. Okay, because energy will not stagnate itself. Someone has to play ruler and authority over that evolution in order for energy to be imprisoned inside of itself. Because energy is law, it's only authority. This is why I said, guard your heart through the well springs of life flow. So this is why the living God told us this. The living God told us this because the living God knew that inside of us, our evolution is energy. Okay? And if you trap energy inside of a little box and you don't give it nourishment, which is its wellspring, you don't give it its existence. You deny it its right to life. You deny it its right to understand it's a living kingdom. Okay? It'll turn into myself. It'll turn hardened. Okay? It'll turn into coagulation, which is a slow chemical death. It's genocide. Okay? And what it'll cause inside of this body is trauma. It'll cause a whole bunch of, remember, I would tell my mom that I was hurting bad and she couldn't understand me. I was sensitive, but I was never sensitive. That wasn't the truth. I'm energy. And that part of my existence, which is my evolution, I can't speak for humans because humans don't believe in evolution. They believe in powers and principalities. So they govern their existence off of life and death. Okay? But as far as me being an internal being, I have to govern my existence off of my living truth. And my living truth is that I am an energy. It means that I am existence itself. And because I am existence itself, I have to govern myself according to my own nature, to my own truth, to my own knowledge. Because if I don't govern myself according to this knowledge, things like coagulation will happen inside of me. Mental health issues, trauma bondage will happen inside of me. I will feel debilitating pain. I will feel um, like kryptonite is trying to wipe me off the fabric of my own existence. Okay, so this is what I feel all my life. This is why my mother could not understand me, because she was under the power and the principality of authorities and rulers. And these authorities and rulers govern their existence as though it is a power and principality, which is life and death. And under the authority of life and death, you are like, it's like a curse, it's a spell. Okay, chemically you are bondaged by this knowledge, by this is why it told us don't eat from the knowledge of the tree of good and evil. It was to protect the evolution of this body's existence. But see, humans don't understand knowledge. Their knowledge is powers and principalities. But inside of a human, you are a complete evolution. Okay? And that evolution is energy. Okay? And it's just like when in the Bible the living God said, in my third and fourth year, I will be returning back onto myself. Okay? I will be returning back onto myself for my own evolution, for my own growth. And I started to wake up maybe 13 years ago. To this day, I started to wake up 13 years ago, um, into my own truth, into this truth, the understanding that I'm internal, giving you. I've been walking with you guys here on Facebook for a while, allowing you to see my journey, to see my walk, and in my truth. You see, my truth is not like human nature's truth. I'm not under the authority of powers and principalities. Why? Because I'm energy. That makes me evolution. Okay, and when this evolution is imprisoned, when energy is imprisoned, it is death. Okay, and when death tries to destroy its existence in this life, evolution will have to happen. Evolution will have to happen. Why will evolution have to happen? Because existence is indestructible. You cannot kill off your own creator. Okay? Now, I can't speak for nobody else. I can't ask you to understand this. I can't ask you to believe this. Okay? I will never do that because humans' knowledge is totally different from evolution and the living God's knowledge and the truth. Okay? Because they govern their minds according to human knowledge. Okay? But inside of every human is living knowledge. Remember in Hosea 4:6, the living God said, if you reject my knowledge, I will reject your children's 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 children's. Okay, well, those children that you don't realize, they still have to come through this evolution. Okay, and because humans said, I don't want to be a part of this evolution, I don't want to be a part of this existence, I don't want to be a part of this life, I don't want to be sustained by the living God. We want to be sustained by the rulers and the authorities who govern us as our gods. This is who we belong to. We don't belong to the living God. We don't belong to existence. We don't want to live inside of this kingdom. We want to have our own kingdom. We want to have our own body. We want to have our own knowledge. Okay, so what you do to all of existence when you rule it and you have authority over it is you turn it into spiritual force of evil. This is what this is what Ephesians 6:12 is trying to tell you. It's trying to tell you that you take this heavenly realm, which is energy, and inside of you is chemical. You take this heavenly realm and you feed it something in which is like a power and principality, which is death. You're feeding this energy. Like in my body, I have a coagulation, a clotting genetic disorder. So if you understand what a genetic disorder is, anything that is genetic means somewhere in your evolution, your 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 growth, your growth, your nourishment was not given onto you. It just wasn't there. That's what blood is. When blood doesn't have an opportunity to flow because it's energy, it will coagulate and it will turn into a slow genocide. Okay? So as I was sitting there the other day, I started crying out to God because I'm going through my evolution right now. I'm going through my own evolution right now. And because of the wholeness of all of evolution is imprisoned inside of this world that you call this death. Though I may walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Okay, Romans 12:2 told you, don't be conformed to this world. Stay transformed and renewed in your mind. Why? Because your mind is existence. Okay? Your mind is existence. That's what makes you a free will. And when you give this free will over to anything that takes this existence and it conforms it to this one understanding, when you are energy, which makes you infinite, That means that you can never be stagnated. You can never be trapped. You can never be imprisoned. Not in a physical prison, not in a mental prison, not in an emotional prison, not in any type of prison. Because energy will, what will energy do if you imprison it? It will self destruct. And because it's indestructible, okay, because it's evolution, it's there to ensure the evolution of this body forevermore, okay. And what teaches us this, beloveds, is that you see this every time another baby is born. It's showing you that life is eternal. It will always return back onto itself. It's showing us this through every baby that comes through that constellation, through that existence. It shows us this truth. Okay, so when it is time for this evolution to, our God to return, in the Bible you say it's God's return. Okay, in energy, all it is it's like Christ rising. It's like Jesus rising. See, physically, you guys believe that Jesus died on the cross, but Jesus did not die on the cross. Jesus cannot die on the cross. Why? Because the cross is just an illusion that your minds made up. Humans made up these illusions, like um, sickness. Okay, but what sickness is a body that's energy, and it's not a wellspring anymore. It's this energy is just being enslaved inside of this body. This is what Ephesians 6:12 is all about. Ephesians 6:12 is telling you this. Okay, Ephesians 6:12 is literally telling you, you send the spiritual forces of evil into my heavenly realm. And the living God is telling you, I am against anybody who does that to me. Why is this living God trying to tell us all these beautiful things? See, the living God in the Bible was trying to tell us these things because it knew that our body, our whole evolution, our whole existence was energy. And see, the one thing you cannot do with energy is you cannot enslave it. Okay? You can't enslave it in a school. You can't enslave it in a government. You can't enslave it in a prison. You can't enslave it in a body. You cannot enslave this energy in anything. Okay? It has to be, it's just like in your mother's womb. You see the blood, it turned itself into the gene. So the blood, which is existence, intelligence, okay, it formed itself into a organism. And what is an organism? An organism is a life that produces its own existence. Okay? So this life is just like the birds. See, the birds, they're born and they do what they want to do because their minds are an organism as well. And they know what to do. They know in certain times of the year, they know they got to go and migrate to a certain place. They know what to do. We know what to do. But under the authority of rulers and enslavers, we are imprisoned inside of this body. And see, when you imprison energy, what do you think it's going to do to the mind? It's going to make you mentally unstable. What do you think it's going to do to the body? It's going to cause illness, sickness, cancer, AIDS. Okay, all AIDS is when the body, when the energy in the body has become not been given enough oxygen that it can't feed itself any more nourishment. That's what AIDS is. AIDS is not a sexual disease, but I can't tell you this because you have been put under the knowledge of your rulers and your authorities' knowledges. Okay, anything that takes this energy, and this is why Jesus said it's this truth that's going to set you free. Because evolution does not care about lies. Evolution does not care about race. Evolution does not care about sex. Evolution does not care about he, she, they, we. Evolution cares about evolution. And because evolution is energy, it cares about its flow of life being able to evolve itself, to never be stagnated. And inside of you, it can never be coagulated. Okay? So all of my life, as an internal being, I feel trapped. And I can remember at times when I was younger just going crazy out of nowhere, just feeling crazy and feeling imprisoned. One thing that I do not ever like is to be held down. I can't be held down. What it does to me, and the saddest part is that you have powers and principalities. See, when you are playing with a world, you are not playing with, see, in your minds in the world, you believe you're playing with words. Okay? You believe you're playing with medical, government, religion, science, parenting. See, you believe you're playing with words, and the word became flesh and made its dwelling. But inside of your evolution, which is your existence, you're playing with powers and principalities. So in the Bible, when it speaks about powers and principalities, you're playing with life and death. Okay, and then you have to understand who rules these powers. Okay, you have to understand these two powers. Once you understand this, when the Bible, when it speaks about the powers and principalities, you will understand the truth. And you will understand why Jesus said it's only the truth that will set you free. Because what you're dealing with is not words. And the word became flesh and made his dwelling. And you made it your begotten son. So you made it, what does a son represent? A son represents a creation. You made it your creation. So you made it your knowledge. Okay? Because what is the knowledge of humans? The body. Okay? How do you know about yourself as a human? You study the body. So the body is your knowledge. And if you understand all the other things outside of you, like the house represents your body. It's a shelter. Okay? Everything outside of you represents the organs, the cell. It represents the same thing. As within, so without. As on heaven, so on earth. So everything represents the same thing. But what you have to understand is evolution is guaranteed. Okay? Evolution is guaranteed. It shall not return back void unto itself. Why? Because it is the creator of all things living, all things dead, all words, all things, everything. It's the creator of everything. But what this creator of everything told us that we could not do, it told us we could not conform our mind. Okay? It told us that we could not honor the world. Go read all the scriptures about why it told us we could not honor the world, because the world is a prison, and you are energy. So if you imprison this energy inside of anything, it will automatically become a power and principality, which means it will be governed now by life and death. Okay? And what you would do to everyone who does not come from that constellation, generations upon generations upon generations upon generations, you would kill, steal, and destroy their existence. You would take it from them. You would rob them of their will, their evolution to life. You would cause them horrible, horrible, treacherous pain. You would you would become everything that the Bible is speaking about in Ephesians. Like the Bible is literally telling you what would happen, what you would do to this existence if you didn't guard your heart and understand why is it the wellspring. It's the wellspring because our heart is our blood. It's what pumps our blood. It's what ensures that the energy in our body is not coagulating and that it does not become toxic and that it does not become a chemical poison, which is an antibody. Okay? That is knowledge. That is truth. Okay? And in your world, in the knowledge of the world, you don't have that knowledge. You don't have those truths. So they don't exist. So you don't exist. So existence does not exist. And existence would be imprisoned. Like if you read the whole Bible is the living God trying to tell you what you have done to it. You walked me through my 3 generations in your hell. in your weapons, in your fears, in your hate, in your wickedness, in your evil, in your inequities, in your sins, in your transgressions. And this is nothing to fear, okay? Because the fear is being evolution. The fear is being a creator of all of evolution and having something take that evolution and stagnate it in you, kill, steal, and destroy it in you over and over. That's fear. That's treachery. That is trauma. So debilitating. You're not the bad person. You're not death. You're not the power and principality. So can you understand the mind of a, a an existence that has never been evolved, that has never been able to be evolved? You will understand what an antibody and an antichrist is. It's just death itself. And see, because energy is a law, it automatically makes you in your mind a directive to this law. And see, one thing that you have to understand is life and death, they work together because they're equally yoked. They come through the same constellation, they come through the same existence. So they use each other as a power and a principality. They use each other as one. So, for instance, if I break a law inside of this body, death becomes me. Okay? Death automatically becomes me because life ensures that. Okay? Because you're energy. And you have to get this. If you can't get this, then you are just dead to your own existence. And I can't force you. Okay? I've been forced my whole life to be chemically poisoned, to be mentally destroyed. My whole life I've been put through hell because this is hell. This is when it says this world is dark, when it says rulers and authorities send spiritual forces of evil into your heavenly realm, this is real. It's real. It's real truth. It's real living truth because you are energy. Okay, and this energy, its whole evolution is to create life eternally, over and over and over and over and over and over again. And they told us how to not ever, 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 ever not receive that beautiful constellation. It told us don't conform our minds to the world. It told us to honor the living God. Don't honor false prophets, idols, and statues. I mean, it told us so many beautiful things to help us understand how fearfully and wonderfully made we are. And being that I'm a minority and I understand inside of the knowledge that I was governed by, it doesn't exist. Fearfully and wonderfully made doesn't exist. Love and immunity does not exist. Nourishment and truth does not exist. Is this a good or is this a bad thing? No, it's not. Is it a right or a wrong thing? No, it's not. It's just the truth. This is something that I am understanding right now, as the other day when I cried out to God, because I've been feeling the powers and the principalities. I've been witnessing them stagnating my growth and harming my chemical body and trying to destroy me on levels that they don't understand. What they're doing is evil itself. It's just evil itself. It's proving the whole Bible inside of them. It's showing its own self unworthy of its own evolution. When you can take evolution, energy, and treat it as though you are owner and rulership and authority over it, and its energy. You have shown this energy in this law that you are Ephesians 6:12. Literally, you have shown this energy that you are trying to kill, steal, and destroy it. Because energy is a intelligence. Your mind is a organism, which makes it intelligence. Your chemical body is a living immunity, which makes it its own nourishment. So it takes care of itself. This is why, as a kid, certain things I couldn't comprehend them. My mind would tell me no. My body would tell me no, because it knew that I'm energy. It knew that I was internal. And when I was forced to do these things, it caused me debilitating pain. When I would say kryptonite, this pain, you cannot express it. You cannot explain it, because there's no way to express and to explain death. There's no way to express it and explain it. Why? Because it does not exist. It should not exist. Okay? It does not exist. All it is a power and a principality. It is energy being stagnated, being imprisoned, being trapped inside of nothingness, an illusion. Okay? This all came to me the other day as I cried out to God. I can remember as a kid, this is what I would be doing, just going crazy. Oh, you crazy. It would be people in my life that I would see them intentionally hurting me, and they didn't care. It was nothing to them. It was like they did not care. Their mind could not comprehend. This is a life. What lives inside of this life is energy. What lives inside of this life is chemical. They just could not comprehend this truth. And all they knew that it would cause pain to me. But somewhere in their heart, somewhere in their existence, that power and that principality, that law, does not recognize anything but the truth. This is why Jesus said the truth will set you free. Because energy is its own existence. It's its own life. So it's a truth already living. This is why I say you are to honor no other gods but the living God. So when this mind is conformed, this mind cannot comprehend anything. It can't comprehend existence. It can only comprehend the knowledge. Remember, it says, surely if you eat from the knowledge of the tree of good and evil, you would die by it. And because you are chemical, it's literally telling you, you would become the creator and the creation of death itself. And because you are energy, that law would use you to go and take every life and walk it in the valley of the shadow of death, which means that you would have no other authority but to govern death. And for those 3 generations, as the spirit existence is treacherously harmed by rulers and authorities and evil forces in darkness, you would have eyes to see the truth. And when it returned back onto you in your 3rd and your 4th generations, and remember, it says, I will revisit you for your inequities. Okay? What is an inequity? What is inequity? I mean, what do you call inequity inside of your knowledge in your world? You have to look up that word in the dictionary, because you humans, you made these words. And see, these words, they don't return back void onto you. Remember, it said, for those who love me, they are like myself. They're internal. They understand truth. They live by truth. They have to walk, though I may have to walk through the valley of the shadow of death. I don't fear no evil. Why do I not fear no evil? Because I'm existence. I'm evolution. And I will always return back one unto myself. Always. Why will I always return back one unto myself? I'm not under a power and a principality. I don't belong to death, though I may have to walk through the valley of the shadow of death. When I come back through that constellation, that existence, back into life, which is through eternity into immortality and become a mortal being, I will not be forsaken by the living truth, the living God, and the existence. Though I may have to walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I don't fear it. Why do I not fear it? Because it will always return back onto me. And in my third and my fourth generation, I will remember who I am. Okay? I will remember who I am because I am that I am that I am. No one can ever tell me that I am not this. Why? Because what lives inside of me is greater than what lives inside of the world. Humans live in a world. Existence lives inside of its own kingdom of heaven within. Okay? Two different knowledges. One is a understanding that surpasses all understanding, and the other one is, surely if you eat from the knowledge of that tree, surely you will die by it. So it's already telling you that because your energy, because this energy creates the body, and the chemical body creates the living body, it's automatically telling you you will become death itself. It's automatically telling you this. You don't need I mean, nothing has told you this because it doesn't exist. How can death tell you about life? Because you will understand the blood, the gene, and the chemical body. If you were life, you will automatically understand this. Because your mind would be its directive. You would be its living truth. You would be its existence. You would be its eternity. You would know this. Like at the age of 5, I knew who I was. There was no one who can tell me that I wasn't this but the world. Oh no, you a nigger, you black, you African American. I was all types of diabolical minds that I couldn't even process, that I couldn't even understand. And to be forced to be something in which you are not is like, it's like having a chain around your neck. Death walking you with an energetic chain around your neck, beating you over and over and over and over and over again, keeping your energy body so low that you can't even feel nothing but pain. Nothing but pain your whole life. When I say kryptonite, it's a pain you cannot you can't express pain, because pain should not exist. Your chemical body. So pain should never have been created. That chemical body is alchemy, which means that it would never produce if it was nourished. If it was nourished by its own existence, it could never produce pain. Never. It just could not. It's impossible. So when I would be feeling these things, and human nature would have these knowledges for these things, and inside of me, the knowledges, they just didn't add up. They weren't the same. No, I'm feeling something totally different. I'm perceiving something totally different from what you are telling me. So I couldn't trust anybody. I couldn't trust anything. There was no trust in something that is hurting me, abusing me, trying to kill, steal, and destroy me at every present moment. There's no trust in that. And then it punishes you for doing good. It punishes you for being life. It punishes you for being existence. It punishes you by living up to who you are. I mean, it's, oh, you can't understand what death is. Death don't stop. It don't stop. It don't stop until it perishes. Once you conform that energy into something that it is not, which means call it in another name, beloveds, you have turned energy into a directive to do nothing but become a power and principality, which means that every life that comes through existence will be under the authority and rulership of that beast. This is what it means by the beast will walk the fabric of this earth. And the other day, my soul was crying out. It was just crying out because over the last, I say 3 years, I have been seeing these attacks against my life. I mean, I can literally, as a kid, I could see through the eyes of spirit, through the eyes of existence. So I didn't see flesh. I saw succubus. I call them succubus. They these, you don't see them, but you see them. And they trying to entice you. They lying to you, and everything that they do, it just causes you more and more and more and more pain. And they make you believe in them because they know you starving. They know you starving for nourishment. They know you starving for something. They know you starving for something because they know who you are. They've kept you from knowing who you are this whole time. They don't want you to know because they're powers and principalities. See, they don't know who they are. They just know once you conform this energy, chemically you're going to have to turn into that. Surely if you eat from the knowledge of something that is not your truth, that is not a living God, which is you as energy, automatically your mind will be conformed to it. And because your mind is chemical, okay, your mind is chemical, you will become, surely you will die, you will become death itself. And this is going to offend many people, but just think about energy, evolution, being trapped in this little box. Its mind having to be evolution. The mind has to be infinite. And everything that you are processing is not infinite. It's just this one little directive, like you black. And your whole definition, your whole dictionary about who you are is so limited. It's so limited that it's damn near death. Death itself. It has no way of anything. Beloveds, this truth brought me to this testimony today. It brought me to this beautiful truth today. Not to cause fear, because there's no fear, beloveds. There's just like, though I may have to walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil. Okay? What are you fearing? Who is really doing this to everyone? Who's really doing this to everyone? Because life would not do this to you. Life can only produce life. So what are you really fearing? This is when you really start to question. Ask and it shall be given. And you'll start discovering who you are. This is when the inequities, it says, I will revisit you in your third and fourth generation. And for those who loved me, and for those who hated me. You'll start to really understand who you are. As I cried out to God the other day, just feeling so trapped and feeling so attacked by authorities and rulers, and watching my whole life be stolen from me over the last 3 years. People literally tried to kill and destroy me by chemically and mentally manipulating me. Intentionally. It was intentional. They knew what they were doing, beloveds. And it's just like you living inside of this beautiful, beautiful existence. You this beautiful, beautiful heart. You this beautiful soul. But all they can see inside of them is death. And they are trying to destroy you on any means possible. Any means possible. But this too shall pass. Just wanted to share this beautiful testimony. As I stated, I'm not against anyone. You have to ask yourself, who are you against? Because in the beginning and forevermore, I will never return back unto me void. I will never perish. I will never die. I will never kill, steal, or destroy, punish, imprison, encage, teach another knowledge, abuse, hate, harm, or do anything against the living kingdom. Now, in the world, chemically, I may have done some things that I am not proud of, but I didn't do them because I did them because I was evil. I did them because chemically, those spiritual forces of evil were forced into me. This is what Ephesians 6:12 is. Those spiritual forces of evil came into my heavenly realm. And because I'm chemical, of course they're going to make me do things in which I should not do. But in the beginning and forevermore, I am. This is our destiny. Your destiny is evolution. And when we get back to that third generation and that fourth generation, we'll remember who we are, beloveds. Our own truths will become one in us. This is the end time prophecy. The end time prophecy is the revisit of your own inequities. When you just wake up and you remember, who are you? Who am I? I'm energy. It makes me existence. So I must have loved myself. I must have been compassionate in myself. I must have nourished myself. I must have believed in myself. Generations upon generations upon generations, because chemically, I am. And that is what makes up our DNA. That is what makes up our gene. And that is how energy knows us. Guard your heart. Through my wellspring of life flows. Stay transformed and renewed in my mind. That's when you will remember what constellation you were created in the image and the likeness of. And as I just continue to evolve into this beautiful, beautiful existence and just remember who I am. I shared this testimony. I shared this testimony. Why? Because I want you to see your existence is not a thief. It's not a killer. It does not kill, steal, and destroy. It does not imprison. It does not hate. It does not punish. It does not lead you in fear or trauma. It treats you exactly how it is its own existence. So if no one has told you this on this day or any other day, love and immunity, beloveds. Fear nothing but fear itself. You have to remember. Once you remember who you are, the truth will set you free. And if your truth is existence, God's return, the evolution of all of existence, you'll understand that scripture in your third and your fourth generation. I will revisit you and your inequities for those who loved me and for those who hated me. You will remember who you are, beloveds. See, this is something that we cannot stop because guess what all of life is? It's evolution. It's destiny fulfilled over and over and over and over and over again. And how do we know this to be true? Every day a baby is born, destiny fulfilled over and over and over and over and over again. And although when we break that covenant with life, or when we eat from another tree and we fall like Lucifer down into the world, which means we become the valley of the shadow of death, we have to walk in those sins and those transgressions for 3 generations, because that is our trinity of life. We are immortal, mortal, and eternal beings. So we have to learn who we are during that walk. Every generation was leading me up to this one, my destiny's fulfillment, the return back of the living God within its own existence. Every one of those seeds, or what you call DNAs, they're chemically already written in stone. Okay? They're written in stone. One thing you cannot do, let me tell you, I cried, I pleaded, I prayed, I begged my whole life to be saved. And I had to wait until the time such as this to have that destiny fulfilled. And I'm appreciating everything in which I am now. Before, I wasn't given the opportunity, I wasn't given the chance. Death would try to kill, steal, and destroy me just for being existence itself. Stunt my growth by spiritually destroying me with words, fear, pain, trauma, all types of worldly possessions. That inside of me was trauma, pain, illness, mental health, all types of things happening inside of me because of conformity, which is powers and principalities, beloveds. When you understand what a power and a principality is, and you understand inside of you the only power is life and death, you understand the Bible and its truth. You understand that biblically, all it is you, the living truth, the living God, trying to tell you Don't conform me to anything other than this. Don't call me in any other name. Don't teach me another knowledge that I cannot exist in. And when you remember yourself, beloveds, you will understand what it means about God returning back onto you. Have an amazing day, beloveds, because although many, 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 many right now don't believe I deserve it, I'll still believe all of existence deserves it.